She thought no one was watching, but it was already too late. The camera had been recording the entire time, capturing a moment that was never meant to be seen. What happened next proves that when you least expect it, the lens is always there. They thought they had gotten away with it, but his wife caught everything on camera. There is something about this video that just radiates pure joy and positive energy. Bowling is definitely a lot harder than it looks. Fatigue finally took its toll. After a long race, the legs simply give out and jumping over a fence becomes a massive challenge. You can see the pure joy disappear in an instant as gravity takes over. It's one of those slow-motion disasters where you want to reach through the screen and catch it. When you think the influencer life is all glitz and glamour, just remember this clip of a girl in a bikini posing in the snow for her social media. You can see her shivering between takes. Is that actually a ghost behind her? I would move out of this house immediately. She decided this was the best way to get revenge on her boyfriend for cheating. Do you guys support this kind of thing? You can tell from the look in their eyes that no one asked, "Is this safe?" Or, "Should we really be doing this?" They just went for it. It was a legendary win.
How'd you shoot? God damn!
Mischievous dogs making a total mess of the house, but we still love them anyway. You can see the pure chaos they've created, from shredded cushions to interior decorating. It's the classic dog owner struggle. You come home to a disaster, but as soon as they wag their tails and look up at you, the anger just melts away. This clip completely made my day. A tiny, adorable cat rushed into a restaurant and stole a huge fish to take back to her kittens. She can barely even carry it because the fish is literally bigger than she is, but she refuses to let go. Maybe they should find a boyfriend who can fix this for them. If this hadn't been caught on camera, nobody would have believed it. Such a shame for such a great hairstyle. You are about to see the worst thief in history caught on security camera. He had the plan, he had the target, but he forgot the most important part, actually keeping the money. You can watch the pure panic as all the cash slips through his fingers and scatters across the road. She is probably in love.
No, don't put him on there. You're gonna kill him. Uh-oh.
Would you dare to join the party here? Personally, I'd rather skip it.
Demolition.
This is what happens when you forget to put on your winter tires and the snow catches you by surprise.
Громче!
Their wedding rings are literally floating away forever with those balloons. Do you think this is some kind of sign from above?
Сейчас что-нибудь придумаем, выдыхаем. А я предупреждала, что салфетки понадобятся.
They went outside to investigate a strange noise, but they didn't realize that whatever was making the sound was right behind them. I have to admit, I do the exact same thing whenever I'm running late for work.
Questo è il nuovo camper della Fiat. Il nuovo camper van, il minivan.
Maybe it's better if they just stick to the beach and the cocktails. Luckily, he didn't get hurt. I'm certain he'll never honk here again. You can see the boyfriend on one knee, holding the ring, while his soul basically leaves his body as he watches his fiancée to be get tackled out of the frame.
Пошло какое-то движение здесь не совсем понятное. По-моему, после матча вот такие мероприятия проводить.
This would be me and my best friend if we worked together. You can tell just by looking at them that absolutely zero work is getting done today. It's a hilarious look at how helpless we are when the weather decides to show off its true strength. Just a few more weeks and summer will be here. There's something incredibly satisfying about these demolition videos. She thought no one was watching, but it was already too late. An incredible coincidence saved pedestrians from certain tragedy. Poor infrastructure turned an ordinary street into a jumping ground. It seems physics won again. This man has officially become the ambassador for poor material assessment. One wrong move of the wheel turned the asphalt into a cage. The kitchen became the scene of an epic culinary defeat. Loose joints became visible as soon as the first strong force pressed the frame. He probably forgot at that moment that matter actually occupies space. The gas station roof was not designed for such massive cargo challenges. The daily special became detergent in massive quantities. The muscles refused to obey in the middle of the hardest part. He realized that gravity doesn't care about his strong will and ambition. Luck is the only factor saving irresponsible drivers. Swerving into the oncoming lane without thinking borders on pure madness. No support can stop the fury of moving earth. Nature has decided that the ground no longer wants to stay put. One small touch was enough for the whole row to fall. It looked like a perfectly choreographed scene of destruction that cannot be stopped. Walking with his head in the clouds ended with a painful kiss with a transparent surface. A second of deconcentration is enough for the horizon to fill with the lights of a speeding vehicle. The pet's hollow eyes now focus intensely on your every move. The line between owner and servant vanished with that single biscuit. Powerful air blasts lifted a ton of steel without any effort. The roof decided to explore the neighborhood instead of staying on top of the building. A detached hitch turned the cargo into an uncontrolled projectile on the highway. Drivers behind had to show incredible skill to avoid a direct collision. The pipes gave way under pressure and released the aroma of hell. No one was physically hurt, but nostrils suffered permanent trauma during the evacuation. Working out at home sounds great until you knock over a bookshelf. People forget that chandeliers are not designed for swinging heavy metal weights. Warning signs aren't just there for decoration on low bridges. Drivers who ignore height measurements usually end up as owners of convertible trucks against their will. The feeling of solid ground vanishes faster than a paycheck after the first shopping trip. A person realizes in a second that walking on the planet isn't actually such a guaranteed thing. Strong air blasts bent metal beams to the breaking point. No one believed that nature could have such power over heavy industry. Driving in the snow turns ordinary people into very clumsy acrobats. Every curve brings new fear and the possibility of an unplanned dance with other vehicles. A controlled explosion became uncontrolled chaos for everyone in the vicinity. Dust covered the city as engineers stared frantically at their miscalculations. Supports began to crack under weight that exceeds all limits. The truck looked like it would split in half on the first major incline. The wrong cut led to a close encounter between nature and architecture. The roof became the new home for a tree that was supposed to fall onto the lawn. Forcing a passage through deep water usually ends with calling a towing service. Reality harshly showed that your Jeep is actually not a submarine or a spaceship. Incredible luck followed this car throughout this chaotic day. Although the situation was terrifying, the vehicle remained untouched in the middle of total ruin. The survival instinct kicked in at the best possible moment for these workers. The truck flipped over exactly where they were standing just a few seconds earlier. Seconds decided the fate of this massive steel structure. It looked as if the metal arm would return to its original position after all. The center of gravity shifted into an irreversible zone of total chaos. Instead of standing stable, the machine decided to get acquainted with the hard concrete. Balloon pilot skill is truly a rare and inexplicable phenomenon. He managed to aim for the plane's roof despite so much free space on the runway. Image of the destroyed car roof says more than 1,000 words. No one expected the helicopter to decide to park in exactly that way. Bitter regret is written on the face of this unfortunate adventurer. He realized too late that shortcuts usually lead directly into trouble and mud. A sudden hole opened up and sucked the vehicle in a second. All that remained on the surface was a cloud of dust and confused bystanders. Every movement further undermined the already weak stability of the structure. It was quite clear that everything would collapse before sunset. Cold water was waiting right beneath the thin layer of the frozen surface. Every step was a gamble with life in this icy and dangerous wilderness. The crane tilted dangerously close to the surrounding buildings and terrified people. The stabilizers were not deep enough in the ground to hold such load pressure. The size of this metal beast was enough to freeze his blood. A close encounter with the huge wheels forced him to question his driving skills. Calm water was no longer an option after that move. The captain decided to test the durability of all anchored ships and the nerves of the tourists present. Materials resistance was at zero at this moment. The entire structure turned to dust without any visible effort or strong impact. He stood confused, holding the remote control in a trembling hand. The question is whether it was his fault or just a bad moment for the electronics. Do you believe in mermaids? Because after seeing this, I definitely do. The city squares are still waiting for the main decorations. It looks like the trucks will have to make 10 more trips to get everything ready. An ordinary puddle turned into an insurmountable obstacle for this vehicle. The wheels lost contact with the ground faster than the driver could swear. The signpost points straight, but there is only a huge hole there. Nature decided to erase the asphalt layer and leave behind a deep crater. Train suddenly slipped off the metal tracks in the middle of a calm ride. Fortunately, rescue teams arrived at the scene before panic took over. Knowing the rules does not guarantee that someone will actually follow them. It seems this man considers the helmet to be just a fashion accessory on the construction site. The grains are now on the floor instead of in a safe and dry place. The metal walls gave way under pressure as if they were made of thin aluminum.